I am here to help you shine your brilliance, access your genius, and align your body, mind, heart, and soul to live your best life. Asia Redox, energy and vitality, ends aches and pains, replenishes your skin, eliminates wrinkles, recalibrates your system, improves performance, improves clarity, stops rapid aging of your cells, cell nutrition for advanced absorption. Live your best life now. Sign up today at shopacia.com/Joan of Angels. Hey everyone, are you ready to ignite your inner light and step into your fullest potential? Today we're going to explore how to turn up your light, turn up your brilliance, and live your best life now. We are going to embark on a transformational journey of awakening and ascension with a dear friend of mine, Bridget Renee Holliday, who's a renowned Ascension Catalyst and mentor. So stick around and join us as she helps illuminate your path to higher consciousness and offers profound insights and practical guidance to all of us. I'm your guide, Joan of Angels. I'm a transformational coach. I help you remember who you are and why you are here. So let me tell you a bit about Bridget Renee Holliday. She is a starseed. She's a channel, multidimensional medium, and a Galactic Unity Ambassador with a mission of normalizing the conversation and perceptions around interdimensional, extradimensional, ultradimensional, and extraterrestrial beings, because she has a star lineage from Pleiadian, Sirian, Arcturian, Lyran, Andromeda, and even more. So she helps us access our lives beyond Earth through quantum hypnotherapy to anchor those frequencies and mysteries into this life. And she is an Ascension-Contact Specialist. She'll tell you more about herself in just a minute. But I do want you to know that one of the reasons I brought her on the show is that, first of all, I love her dearly. And second of all, I have experienced some of her transformational work over the years. And I've been privileged to hear her speak and been on Portal to Ascension with me and other events and panels. And when I started this show, Shine Your Brilliance, one of the first people that came to me is my dear friend, Bridget Renee Holliday, whose very name, Holiday, reminds me of brilliance, Christmas tree lights, and shining your light. And so that's why we have Bridget on the show today. Welcome, sweetie.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, Joan.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, Bridget, tell me how you got to really do this work of ascend and awake. Like, what was your shifting moments? I don't know. Don't tell us what you were like before. No, but seriously, how did you shift your life?
So I've been on an ascension journey my whole life. I've been connecting and communicating with a variety of beings since I was a baby. And my team has been teaching me and reminding me who I am my whole life. I call those beautiful beings that guide and assist us on our journey, I call them our soul team collective. And I've been in direct contact with mine since I was little. So I came in, though, for this moment that we're in right now, right? Not just holding frequency and choosing how to live and be my whole life, which wasn't always rainbows and butterflies. I've had a very intense life, some of which I chose unconsciously, right? But I've also had a lot of beautiful moments. And when it comes to, I don't know that I have one defining moment when it comes to my ascension journey, because I feel like there've been, probably multiple hundreds of thousands, just like with everyone. But what I do experience a defining moment with was my Starseed awakening, which happened as an adult with the first of two contact experiences with two totally different beings, 3 hours apart from one another. And that shifted my entire landscape. My inner landscape changed and expanded in an instant. I could feel my consciousness rearranging from that moment, the very first one. And I was sort of coming out of a dark night of the soul that I had unintentionally created for myself through a spiritual hibernation that I had sort of placed myself in after my team had showed up with this huge like timeline explanation of a potential timeline that I was being offered to step into that felt way too big for me. In that moment, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to wait for the next one. I was like, this is too much. The amazing things would have been great, but they also showed me like all of the people that were going to, ridicule me and attack me and all of these things, right? And I think the intention was to give me the full picture. But what it did was I was just like, I opt out. I opt out completely. I don't care. I don't want to do it. It's too scary, right? And so I put myself in like a spiritual hibernation. And in doing that, I was living my purpose with my friends and my family, but I wasn't living my purpose with like the rest of the world and being seen in a bigger way. And so it created a lot of disharmony within me that I didn't know. I didn't see it initially. And then after years of it, I sort of was waiting out the timeline to be complete and go extinct, right? And then I became really depressed and I became really sad, and I entered into a dark night of the soul sort of moment. And this contact experience was me sort of coming out of it just before the contact experiences, the first of many. And when I started to come out of it, I was doing a lot of meditation, like probably for most people, a ridiculous amount of hours a day, because I was just enjoying my multidimensionality and, the free flowing connection of tapping in with the other lives and expressions that my soul was living, right? And I was having so many amazing experiences, and then the contact happened. And the first one was so beautiful. The second one was a totally different flavor and a totally different kind of being. And then from there, everything just started unfolding. And I knew instantly that I had to tell people. And I was already the high strange girl with all of the paranormal experiences, talking to soul teams, guides plus, right? And all of that. And I was like, okay, this is just one more thing to add to the list. And I had become really confident in my own experiences and who I am long before that, because I didn't want to live thinking of myself and feeling of myself the way some people viewed what I was experiencing. I knew what I was experiencing was important to other people. And every time I talked to someone about the paranormal experiences or their guides or channeled through messages, it was always so impactful. So for me, I really anchored in that high strange weirdness, right? That woo, as some people call it today. And that's where I feel like I started to blossom. And this is actually something that I assist people with, Joan, is being so confident in my abilities and my understanding of what I'm here to do. That holds space naturally for other people to sort of recognize that within themselves, right?
Well, it's so interesting, Bridget, because you started by saying, and I recognize this in myself too, they showed you how big you truly are and what your responsibility was. And I ran from that too. And my guides deliberately, when they told me to start painting 33 angels, they did not want me to see the big picture because they knew that it would be too much for me. In fact, if I knew then, really, honestly, it was a scary journey. And I had this palm reader look at me and said, did you know you were supposed to be famous years ago, but you blew it because I did just what you called it, spiritual hibernation. Put my head in the sand because it seemed too big and I seemed too little. So now you're saying you've been able to navigate that and you've become a master teacher for people on how to navigate your best self, your big role, your your most powerful self, right?
Mm-hmm. I love to remind people how amazing we all are, right? And that we're
Right.
all here for this many missions, many purposes. Like there's never an ending to that, right? Like we have so many things that we've come here to express and experience. And we have an entire collective, especially Starseeds, walk-ins, hybrids, angelics, all of us. We have an entire collective to shine for and support in whatever way they're choosing within their lives, right? So I help people remember you've trained lifetimes for what you're here to do. This isn't just,
Yes.
and not just on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I help people with. I know you do too, Joan. This is something we have so many things in common, but I know that's something we both share, is that this life right now in this monumental period of humanity's evolution and consciousness is pivotal to what we're building as a collective of humans on Earth. Right. But it's connected to all of the lives and expressions on Earth that our soul is and has lived. And it's also connected to all of our galactic, cosmic, and ethereal lives. And we're holding frequency for all of that. And we're bringing those specializations and masteries, all of that genius from all of those lives and expressions. We have access to bring that into this life and anchor it in and use it to be of service, to uplift and support. So yeah, that's what obviously you can tell I get excited when I talk about this. It's like
I get excited about it too. Like we chose to be here now, 2024 and beyond, or up till this point, because it's the most pivotal time on the planet. It is this ascension period. And some of us are those leaders that we actually, after all those lifetimes, some of which were traumatic, we have the wisdom, we have the mastery, and we know it in our soul. So these are the times for which we chose to be here. And so if you're out there listening, you can say to yourself, okay, I'm waking up. How do I activate this within me? How do I remove what's covering me up so I can work with Bridget and learn how to access my team and become awake and aware is probably the best way to put it. So I appreciate that about you, Bridget. That's why I get so excited. Let's talk about the quantum field then. How does that help one in this process of ascension, of awakening?
Quantum hypnotherapy?
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. So we connect in with your high self, who guides the entire journey, knows exactly what you need in this moment, right? And you come in with questions, which most of the time get answered. But then you have all of these experiences that remind you who you are based on what you need, that your high self guides you through. And, I've been doing this work as a quantum hypnotherapist for a really long time. But I will say over the last 4 or 5 years, it has shifted to where a lot of the lives and expressions that people experience themselves in are not necessarily in a physical body. It is this beautiful mixture of like galactic, cosmic, and ethereal lives and expressions that remind us just how vast we are, that remind us that our center is our soul and that we're never separated from that. It reminds us, the high selves remind us of our connection to ourselves, but to everything in existence. And it can be really funny. There's lots of funny experiences that happen in there. I laugh a lot when I'm in these sessions because, I'm tapped into the soul team collectives. I'm tapped into my beautiful client and their high self. And, you ask a question like, do you have feet? Because sometimes you don't, and people are like, I don't have feet. I don't have feet. I don't have feet. It's like so funny how attached we get to these human bodies. But there's always beautiful healing that happens in these as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're just an amazing way to get answers and to really deep dive into the lives and expressions that are connected to this life and then access those specializations, those masteries. We like to call them superpowers in our community, but access those superpowers and anchor them in so that we're just walking in the new, right? There's so much expansion that happens in these sessions. And that's why they're one of my biggest passions in the service soul work that I do.
Expansion. I love that. Because when I talk about living your best life, turning up your light, it's really about expanding that inner power, that sense of who you are, that sense of being able to light the fire wherever you go. That's one of my things. I feel like I'm a beaming tower of light wherever I go.
And you are. You absolutely are.
I decided to like put it in a bottle and package it for people. How do you radiate? But that's what I know, that's what you do a lot with people, and you call yourself Expansion Catalyst. So what's an Expansion Catalyst?
My email, it's funny, it does say Expansion Catalyst, but it's really just the person that is holding space for everyone, anyone, to remember who they are, right? And to help them, and to help shift perspectives. One thing that I've figured out pretty early on in my life is that's what I help people do. So if we're stuck mentally in something, or even in our beliefs, or all of these different things, there's always expansion to be had if we come in with an open heart and open mind. But there are people in the world that it's in our specializations and masteries to assist people through our beingness. And I hold a neutral love frequency, a harmony frequency. My team has told me that I'm an ambassador for unity consciousness, right? And a lot of this comes through the way my soul expresses outside of Earth, beyond Earth. But in that, I believe that every single person on the planet has the ability to be an ascension catalyst. We've labeled what we're going through the ascension, or an ascension, or ascension, right?
Right.
And I believe we all have the ability to catalyze that within other people just through being. Not even all of the service soul work that we're doing in the world, but the choices that we make in our lives every day, all day long, the frequencies that we choose within our own expression, that ripples out from us constantly. And when we resonate in harmony, but we're also raising our vibration and blending our multidimensional aspects that are connected to this life, blending those frequencies, our amount of emanation becomes bolder and bigger and wider. And I love to give the visual of, imagine that the earth is a still body of water all around the outside of it, right? It's just like that flat glass water. And then imagine as each of us light up and start to expand, it's like you've tossed billions of pebbles into this still body of water. And then imagine that some of those billions of pebbles start to really expand their consciousness. Those waves that come out from them get bigger and further apart, right? And then eventually everything becomes one, right? It all equalizes. That's what we're doing right now. That's how I see it. The waves, merge and blend and become one. I believe that's what we're waking up to, is that deep remembrance that, yes, we're experiencing a deep sense of individuality in the human experience, but we are intricately, no, that's not the right word, but we are deeply woven together energetically as one consciousness that is experiencing ourselves through this defined individuality of the human experience on Earth. And that remembrance is so powerful and empowering, right? Because then it really shows us that all of these little differences, all of these little things that we've been holding as other than, or not good enough, or unrelatable, it's all not true, right? So it shows us that we're all so deeply we're so deeply intertwined energetically and as a collective with our planet and all of the co-inhabitants, that it almost wipes out all of those things. And that's what we're doing now. We're diffusing what no longer serves us as individuals and a collective and inflating everything that does, right? And we get to choose that in each now moment.
Well, interesting, the planet is in an 8-year energetically, which is about alignment, aligning your heart, mind, body, and soul and spirit all together. And when we go into 2025, then we're in a 9-year, which is really about an intensive letting go of what no longer serves each and every one of us and the planet as a whole. So I always say people, places, and things. So, and that is what happens. And if it's for the highest good, then it is going to happen, this letting go. And we're in that we're in this chaotic time now where old ways are dropping. So a way of being guided through this is really important.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe. And the planet is on an ascension timeline.
100%. Yeah. I agree.
So, I see the planet a certain way, like Gaia in my mind is like an orchestra, huge orchestra with its own sound. And each of us have an instrument in it. We ourselves are the instrument. We have a unique tone. And when we're out of tune, then we kind of cause the orchestra to be out of balance. But if we learn what our tune is, then, and you learn your tone and we all take part, then we have the most amazing symphonic, harmonious symphony here.
Yes.
So our job is to learn what our tone is.
And I feel like that's so important, right? The inner journey and knowing our own energy, understanding how our mental and emotional fields work, understanding our spiritual expansion to the degree that we can, right? And how that works. Becoming aware of the slumbering aspects of consciousness, right? The parts of us that are still asleep, the things that are under the surface that are still running the show, right? All of these things are so important. Healing the trauma, all of that is so important to helping us really understand ourselves, right? Like understand who we are. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah, I totally get it. So, Bridget, do you have any words of wisdom or anything that you can share with the audience? Any messages from your guides or anything, affirmations or?
Yeah. So when you were just speaking, Joan, you were talking about this being a year of balance, right? You're talking about that. My team has told me last year and this year is all about remembering the harmony within ourselves. So this also includes really supporting our own harmony by the way we choose the people that we are around, the information that we bring into ourselves, right? And also in that choice of harmony, again, comes back to the programming. So there's lots of programs running through the human collective that we are either adopting or we are learning from the people that are in our lives from when we're quite small to whatever age we are now. But we get to choose whether we play in them still now. We get to opt out if we don't. And opting out comes through that neutral love and above space that we all are and have within us, where we can become that neutral observer of our reality and how we're creating it consciously and unconsciously, and what we're agreeing to create with other people in that co-creation that we have with each other. So I think my main theme for this, my main message for this beautiful conversation that we're having right now is to shine your light and stand in who you are, the core essence of you, and let that radiate out from you. That comes with a degree of getting to know yourself and loving yourself, loving who you are. Those things that make you strange, those things that other people have labeled as not good enough or not good or undesirable, often those things that we think about ourselves in that way, those are connected to our superpowers. Those are connected to our specializations and masteries so many times, right? Maybe I would say like 8 out of 10 of those things that you think, whoever you are, that you think are unlovable about yourself, those things are rooted into the things that make you the most powerful. So when you switch the way you view them and you really start to perceive them for what they are and how you can utilize them in the world with your own life, but assisting and supporting and uplifting other people, that's when that confidence starts to build in your core. And that's where you start to radiate confidence out, when you anchor those things in, like really ground them into your human, own them, allow yourself to perceive the beauty in them, the all of the different things that make them unique, a unique part of who you are. That's when we get to really radiate and shine our light. When we look at what we've been and how we've chosen to be in our life, what we've experienced, all of the things that felt good, all of the things that felt intense, and we allow that to be experience, but don't pull it into the persona that we have now. And we start to anchor all of our specializations and masteries. We start to be very gentle with ourselves. We start to speak to ourselves in loving ways, as opposed to being verbally or mentally abusive to ourselves. And when we start to do that, that's when we really start to shine, and other people will find us so magnetic, right? Because in that moment of knowing who we are, understanding our own energy fields, understanding the connection that we have with other people and how we can be of service, in those moments, we become so magnetic to people who are utilizing our interactions and our connection with them as permission slips for themselves to birth whatever they desire within their own creation out into the world through their expressions and experiences.
I love it. That's so appreciated. That's so wise, Bridget. It's what our heart needs to hear, because this is the time of the heart and the time of the intuitive, as opposed to the logic and scientific world. We're really going into that which is the truth, and it is beyond science for sure. So, Bridget, how can people reach you, and what do you offer them?
Oh, I love this.
Besides your beauty, and your wisdom and your brilliance in helping people get clear.
Thank you, Joan. So I work as a beyond quantum healing hypnosis practitioner and an ascension mentor. A lot for Starseeds. So I work with a lot of Starseeds, walk-ins, and hybrids. But I work with anyone who's awake and ascending. And you can reach me at my name. That's my website, Bridget Renee Holliday, Renee with 3 E's, Holiday with 2 L's. And you can also, if you are desiring a deep connection with people who are like-hearted, and a place where you can openly share all of your amazing experiences or some of your intense ones, and you're looking for a community to do that with and expand your consciousness, then join us at Ascension Catalysts with an S .com, or you can go to my website and find it on the homepage as well and go there. But yeah, we have a beautiful community of people who are connecting and supporting and uplifting each other, all of our soul family. And if you are one of them, if you feel that draw and that connection, come play with us, come hang out. We will support you. We will love you.
You froze up.
Play with us.
I love that. Guys, my first memory of Bridget was when Clubhouse became popular, or when it first started. Oh, I remember, oh gosh, Neil didn't have an iPhone, but I had an iPhone, and we started listening to Clubhouse and downloading it. And you were the only person I just was so drawn to your program. So guys, reach out to Bridget. She's amazing. She can really support you. And her collective, the Ascension Catalysts, it's anything like the Clubhouse that I was part of, that I would look at sometimes. You're just in for a treat. So so much, Bridget. We appreciate you beyond words, beyond words. So guys, reach out to Bridget for really one of the next steps in your ascension. Absolutely. If you want a catalyst, go with Bridget Renee Holliday.
Thank
Go
you,
on a
Jen.
trip with her on holiday.
Thank
I
you,
could come
Jen.
up with a lot for that. All right, Bridget, thank you so much, my love. If you want to just stick around, that's great for a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, love.
It has been my pleasure. I love you.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, that was just so wonderful. I understand why I completely love this woman. Definitely reach out to her or go to her groups, the Ascension Catalysts. It's going to be a great treat. So, guys, I'm Joan of Angels. Reach out to me if you're really ready to reach your fullest potential, if you're ready to be on your journey of self-discovery and transformation, because this work is about teaching you how to live your best life now. So you can always reach out to me at joanofangels.com. And next week, I just want to give you a heads up. Next week, we have Stuart Pierce, who is he has a royal voice coach. So he was even training King Charles how to do some of his acceptance speech, and he's worked with the royal family as well as numerous other people. He's got a great book out on Princess Diana, and the show is going to be called Embrace Your Authentic Voice. So be sure to join us, and also be sure to have a super outstanding, amazing, miraculous week as you shine your brilliance, turn up your light, and start living your best life. Have a great day, everyone.